Welcome to this explanation of pedagogy versus andragogy, two different approaches towards understanding learners. Have you ever designed a lesson for a group of adults, only to garner a reaction of impatience, irritability, and complaints that this is a waste of time, or this could have been an email? Or have you ever taught a group of children, only for them to get overwhelmed and say it's too difficult or I don't get it? Presenting new content to learners is an art, a balancing act between making content engaging and ensuring learning of material. Knowing your learners and teaching according to their needs will help you with this balancing act, and for that, it's important to know the differences between pedagogy versus andragogy. By the end of this video, you will be able to define the terms pedagogy and andragogy, list the similarities and differences of the two learning theories, and match best instructional practices to each learning approach in scenarios. Think back to when you were a child going to school. You would go through curriculum created by your teachers or by a textbook. The curriculum would typically start with basic information when you're younger and gradually get more complex and detailed as you get older. Now think about how you might learn while working a full-time job. With limited time and energy, anything you choose to learn would need to be important and applicable to your life. Otherwise, it would be difficult to stay committed. This is essentially the difference between pedagogy and andragogy. Pedagogy is the teaching of children or dependent learners. In pedagogy, learners are dependent on the instructor to decide what and how the learning will happen. Andragogy, a term coined by Malcolm Shepard Knowles, is the teaching of adults or self-directed learners. In andragogy, the learners are the ones who decide what and how they will learn, while being supported by outside resources. When it comes to best practices in pedagogy and andragogy, there are some similarities. For instance, both need high-quality resources, such as engaging materials or a teacher, to support learning. Both require motivation to learn, chunking information to be mindful of cognitive load, and providing opportunity for practice and incorporating feedback. However, when designing instruction, you should always choose best practices that are better suited to your audience's needs. Children are dependent learners, and their focus is on learning subjects with increasing complexity. When teaching children, it is best to deliver content in stages. Once they master one stage, they can move to the next and grow gradually in knowledge. You should also create realistic and engaging learning resources to simulate real-world experiences for their practice. Adults, on the other hand, have limited time and different needs and motivations. They need just-in-time learning that can be used right away. When teaching adults, it is best to draw from their life experiences. Take a problem-solving approach and cut straight to an issue that they are experiencing currently in their lives, and design as much freedom as possible into the learning experience. Let's practice applying best practices in different learning scenarios. Maggie is a learning designer at a startup who is managing 50 online courses simultaneously and having a hard time keeping track of it all. Her manager advises her to brush up on her project management skills, so she signs up for an online course. Would it be better to A. Provide a semester-long course that explains all project management tools and frameworks in increasing complexity, or B. Provide a micro-learning course that teaches her how to use one project management framework and tool that the company already utilizes? If you chose option B, you're correct. Since Maggie is a busy adult trying to improve her skills on a current work issue, she would benefit from self-directed learning, so this would be an example of andragogy. Andragogy emphasizes the need for just-in-time learning that helps adults solve immediate problems, so it would be best to give her a more targeted approach that gets the job done. Let's try another scenario. Grace is a first year in university taking an Introduction to Biology lab course. She needs to learn how to identify the different components of a cell. Would it be better to A. Give her a clear sample of a cell to view with a microscope and label with her own hand-drawn cell diagram to reference. Or B. Give her a real-life research scenario in which she looks at an unidentified cell and labels the cell components. If you chose option A, you're correct. Since Grace is a first-year student in an introductory class, she is still a dependent learner, so this would be an example of pedagogy. Pedagogy requires scaffolding of content so that the learner gradually and thoroughly learns the subject material. So it would be best to have Grace practice first with a controlled learning scenario. It's important to note that not every learner has the same exact set of motivations and inclinations toward learning. When learners take ownership of their learning and can apply it immediately in their lives, no matter the age, they will naturally be more motivated to learn. It's up to you as the instructor to truly analyze the needs of your learners and design instruction accordingly so that they get the best learning experience possible. If you want to learn more, check out the following resources on instructional design theories.